Hey guys, welcome back. So today's video is actually going to be very knowledgeable, I'm hoping. You're going to learn you some stuff today. Today we're going to talk about a topic that I get a ton of questions on, both in real life and just like on social media and in my workplace and in my everyday life. And it's about something that we all want to do correctly and we all want to do right, but it takes tons and tons of practice. So we're going to talk about eyebrows. So there's a lot to be considered when taking into account of how to fill in, how to draw on, how to create an eyebrow. So we're going to dive into a little bit of that, of how to create the perfect brow of what you're looking for and what tools to use to accomplish that. So personally, I have used a ton of different brow products in my life, including pencils, pomades, powders, gels, basically anything that you could probably try. I have tried it because I am a makeup collector. So today my goal is to really get into the nitty-gritty, answer all the questions that I've ever been asked, and really help you guys and point you guys in the right direction of everything. So let's just get to it. So first things first, I do want to disclaim that brows are complete preference. You can create any type of brow shape, any type of brow color, shape, size, anything that you love that suits you and your look and what you're going for, you should do it. My number one thing that I always tell clients and tell friends is that there's no rules to makeup. Even though someone told you that it should be done this way, it doesn't mean that it has to be done. That's the best part about makeup, is that there's the norm and then there's the way that you want to do it. So just keep that in mind. If you're doing what you're doing, then keep on doing it because you're obviously doing it well. And you should just keep it unique to yourself. Now, if you've never sculpted your brows, filled in your brows, drew them on, anything like that, this is kind of what I'm going for, is to kind of help the person that has never done anything to their brows before. So to start off, if you have 0 brow hairs, it can be very hard to map out where the placement of your brows should be. So there's a lot of different tools. There's stencils. So Anastasia Beverly Hills came out with stencils a couple of years ago, and you can buy these at Sephora, you can buy these at Ulta, you can buy them probably on Anastasia's website, you can probably buy them on eBay, Amazon. I know for a fact Eyelure carries some at Ulta and they're a little bit cheaper, but each brow stencil set comes with 5 of different shapes and different sizes. So these are very helpful in case you do not have a steady hand, you do not have time to be creating a brand new brow every day, and you just need the quick and easy. So these are great. I definitely recommend these. They're really easy. Now for those that do have brow hairs or do not, but still want to freehand your shape, I'll kind of go more in depth about how to know your placement by freehanding. So I have a little benefit mirror, so I'm going to be staring at that. So if I'm staring down, that's what I'm staring at. So biggest rule of thumb, take a straight edge. This is just my eyebrow pencil that I use on an everyday basis. Take something like this. You can take an eyebrow pencil, you can take a brush, you can take whatever you need to. Just take something that's straight and going to be long enough to reach your nose and your brow at the same time. So take your brush or your straight edge or whatever it is, place it up against your nose. Not the front, but the side of your nostril. Now as you can see, if I straighten that up, bring it down, that's the beginning of my eyebrow. You want to keep it lined up before it hits your inner corner, so you don't want to hit this area where you're crossing over your inner corner, because then your brow is going to start back here. Straight, like completely straight. Inside your inner corner. And what I recommend is taking a little bit of product and just creating this little tick mark, little hash mark right there. Don't lose your spot. So create your brow right there. That's the front. Easy peasy. Now do not move your brush from your nose and just completely tilt it and completely cover your pupil. My right eye is completely covered. I cannot see anything out of it. And that's the arch that's where you want your brows to start changing direction, from going upwards to downwards. So same axis, from the front, tilt it, there's your arch. So keeping it on that same axis, create a little hash mark right there. Keeping it on the same axis on your nose, bring it outwards and create it to your outer corner. So from here to here, completely cover your pupil to the outer corner of your eye. That should be the longest part of your eyebrow. So the best part about this method is it works for all eye shapes. So biggest recommendation I can say is take your pencil, line it up like that. You'll get your placements really easy, and then you can just kind of fill in either your natural shape or just connect the dots. It's simple as that once you create that outline. So it becomes really, really easy. So personally, on an everyday basis, I use the Anastasia Brow pomade. This is a gel, like essentially a gel liner. I've had this for over a year and it still looks fine, and I use this every day. I mean, it's not like gorgeous, but this is gonna last me a couple other months, like still a few more months. So I use this every day, unless I need more of like a natural brow, because this is the brow that it gives me. I'm using a pomade right now. I feel like it gives me the right amount of drama that I need, but also not overwhelming my face because of, again, of the color I selected. So I'm using the shade dark brown, and I typically use dark brown in just about everything that I use. So that includes my pencils, my powders, everything like that. So once you figure out the color that you need, it's pretty universal. That's why I like sticking within the same brand for that. And I use a NYX brush. Don't use anything fancy. Anastasia has a great brush. I do recommend that one because it is a little bit thinner. This brush is a flat and angled brush, and it has a spoolie on the other side. So brush is important as well. Once you have the right brush, your brow will become very sharp. So I'll show you how to use the pomade in just a moment. The pencil, and there's so many different kinds. There's Anastasia Brow pencils. Now this one is actually the brow definer. This one does have a, let's see if I can show you, like a teardrop shape. If you have brow hair, just like I do, that you don't need to create a whole brand new shape for your brows, but you do want something that's going to fill them in, but not necessarily make them 4 shades darker, I do recommend this because it will be the easiest thing that you could use on your brows. And just brush it on through and your natural shape will be emphasized. I do recommend a brow definer. Now they do have, and the ones that I have are from different brands. This is a NYX, the micro brow pencil. This is the tiniest little pencil. This is similar to the Anastasia Brow Wiz. This is great for creating the little baby brow hairs. Now again, this is not going to give you the kind of drama that my brows have. This is not going to fill in anything other than creating little brow hairs. So if you have full brows but have just little bald spots or little sparse patches, or you're missing your tail, or you're missing the front of your brow, this would be perfect if you don't want to fill in anything else. So if you stare at my hand and I just create little flickers, it's going to create these little, that's going to give you the little brow hair. So this is great for when you need to fill in just little sparse areas. I also recommend this for the person that does not have a brow shape or needs to really create a new one or really emphasize, give you just a lot more control. So outline, good for that. Don't recommend the long strokes though. Keep doing that little baby strokes all the way through and you'll get it done perfectly fine. So brow pencils like this are really nice, and again, it has a spoolie on the other side, so you can just kind of run it on through, make it look a little bit more natural. The one that I use personally is from Sephora collection, and I do really like the Sephora collection pencil because this one does deposit a lot more product a lot quicker. So this one took me a little bit of building up. This one is much of a softer of a pencil. So when I use the pencil, I want it to be more dramatic. I want it to lay that product down and get to the point, basically. So I do like this pencil if I reach for any pencil. So there's another product that I was obsessed with for a very long time, and I still use, probably once or twice a week, and it's the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Powder. Now this is a duo powder. This is literally just the formula of like an eyeshadow. So it's gonna come off very, very subtle. To create a little bit more of a subtle brow, I do use the 2 different shades. So I go in the beginning with that one, and then I finish it up and detail it and darken it with a darker shade. So I'll demonstrate all of this in just a moment. Now there's one more product that, girl, this has saved my life so many times. I still continue to use it because I do like it. It's a great product. and I really recommend it for someone that doesn't know if they want to use a brow pomade or a powder, is this e.l.f. eyebrow kit. Mine's real busted because I use it, but it comes with a wax. So it's not the same consistency of the pomade. It is a little bit more sheer, but it comes with a wax. And then it comes with the powder on the other side. It comes with like little tools, but I don't use that, so I just kind of throw them away. It does come with these two products. So these are great for layering, or these are great for using them individually and figuring out what is more comfortable for you, which product is more comfortable for you. e.l.f., I mean, I probably paid no more than $3 to $4 of this. So this is great if you do want to explore the powder and the pomade world, but don't want to spend an arm and a leg. Anastasia is fairly inexpensive. Brow pomade's like $18, the brow definer is like $21. So it's pretty affordable, but if you need affordable, like $3, $4, get this, because this is good. All right, time to get a little bit more exact. I'm gonna take off these brows, and then we're gonna go down the line as far as how to apply. So let me take off my brows. Alrighty, so I'm missing product, but obviously I have foundation on, so you can kind of see where I'm missing the foundation. So I'm just going in with like a little bit more of my foundation just to kind of even that out. I do take a spoolie and remove any bit of that excess foundation. So these are my natural brows, and this is really the truth because I have tons of strays in here and in here, and you can really see where this eyebrow, girl, this eyebrow gives me problems. So this one is really easy to fill. She's a good one. She's great, she's wonderful, she's beautiful, she just lives life. This one's not so great. So not only is this brow much more defined below, my growth pattern in this brow is completely wonky. So this one is my trouble one. It does not have a great tail. I thicken up the tail. So this one, she's wonderful. She's a great journey to watch. So for this one, I'm gonna keep really easy and just use my pencil. For this demonstration, I'm gonna go in with the Sephora collection pencil that I said I liked. And what I like to do personally is I'll go in with a clear or tinted brow gel. This one again is from Anastasia. This is kind of what you can think of as your brow mascara. It's not gonna have any color to it, but I do like to hold it all in place. Okay, now that gel has fully dried down, I'm gonna go in with my Sephora collection pencil, and I use the shade 6 Soft Charcoal. I'm gonna go in and I'm just going to define that line just a little bit more. So in these little sparse areas that you can kind of see my skin underneath is where I'm just gonna put that pencil. I like to either dot or flicker. So I'm gonna create little flicker motions in the front. I'm gonna create a small line just in the front. And I have the tiniest amount of pressure on my hand right now. And I'm really doing this dotting motion. I'm not even flickering, I'm just kind of dotting everything down. So I'm creating that line, making it match up with the bottom of my brow, and extending and darkening up my natural line. So that's the base bottom line. Now I'm just going to flick upwards. This is actually little flicker motions, and this is going to create the up and out brows. So once my upward motions are done, I'm going to go in with my top line. Now this I'm going to keep very, 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 very soft because you want to keep the most definition on the bottom, not so much on the top. So I'm going to start on the tail and flick, flick, flick downwards. And my arch is where I need the most help. So I'm going to create a little bit more product, kind of the same motion that I did in the front, but on my arch now. So that same dotting, dotting, dotting all the brush strokes, and then flicker on the line. So that is basically all I would do. I'm gonna take a spoolie and soften up all the product, which it should feel a little stiff now because there is brow gel. but it's not gonna move. So that is what I would do when I need a penciled brow. Notice that I still have texture. You can still see where my natural hair is and not so much where the pencil is. Now moving on to the hot dog brow. I'm gonna show you with the pomade because I do wanna show you the complete opposite effect that a pomade gives you, where it gives you that dramatic brow the first time around versus the pencil. So I'm gonna take my pomade. Biggest tip I can say is when you're dipping into your pomade, dip your brush in. Don't swirl it around, don't stab it in. Side to side, wipe it on the sides. Side. Now there's a lot of product on the brush. I don't want that much. I'm gonna take the cap, and you can obviously tell that I have done this before, and wipe off the excess because there's a lot on there. Not only does this wipe off the excess, but it really sharpens up the brush and creates this very fine point. Now this is the fun part. With your pomade, it's gonna be very dramatic, so remember to go in with a very light hand and to go in on the tail of the brow because that's where you want the majority of the product to end up. So I'm taking my brush now and I'm keeping it completely flat and in the same direction of my hair growth. I'm not taking it up and down, not creating that motion. So taking it from here to here. Underneath. Same idea as the other side, creating these little flicker motions and creating the tail. I'm gonna go upwards. So I'm switching from below and above. Below and above, just so I can keep my shape intact. And as that triangle fills in, I'm just going to meet those two ends and drag it outwards. Now I'm just going to bring this forward and follow my natural line, where I don't really have a natural line, but where I kind of created it. And I still have not re-dipped my brush. I'm taking very little product, keeping it where I want my natural line to be, and bringing it forward. Little flicker motions, and creating that same line that I did on the other side with the pencil. So here you can kind of see where I have this line a little bit more defined versus upwards. So I just have the line plus my tail. I'm gonna take my cap, take a little bit more of that product, and do the same line, but I'm gonna go above now. So right the tallest point of my tail, and brush is in the direction of hair growth. Little flicker motions. Now I'm just filling in the two lines. Since that tail's already filled in, this is gonna be really easy. Not even being exact. Now, softer hand up at the front. And now I'm going back to my dotting technique. Dotting all the product on there. Taking my brush, running it through. So now it's a much more solid color. Staring at this brow, you can't see so much of the texture as you can with this brow. This brow, you can really see each individual hair. This side just looks like I colored really the skin underneath. Of course, it still looks like a brow because I have brow hair, but it's a much more solid shape. So keeping that there, I'm gonna take my spoolie, run it through the front again, just to lighten up the front, just a teeny bit. I do the exact same thing with the powder. Sometimes if I'm feeling extra saucy, I'll go in with the pomade and go in with my powder separate. In regards to the powder, I do the exact same motions as I do with my pomade. It doesn't deposit that much, so it's not gonna be as dramatic. It's gonna be something similar to this shade. Now at this point, it can really start to look very dramatic. So what I like to do, and don't get it twisted, I don't go in with anything very light, but I do take this, it's technically a foundation, it's from Dermablend. It's like their super full coverage foundation, and I just dip a little bit of a brush into it, and this is when I help my brow shape. Right here where it's getting a little dark, I just take a little bit of that foundation, or concealer works, and lighten that up. And that's gonna create from afar a much sharper line underneath. That's it. That's all I clean up. Sometimes I'll clean up the tail because it's not that crisp on this brow. So I'll take just like a little bit and just clean that up. And then I'll take either my beauty blender or just my finger too and just kind of pat it out. Now I do top it off always with a brow gel. So like I said, I went in with that Anastasia, the clear brow gel, but I also do like the Lancome, the Sourcils Styler. There goes my light, bye. So I'm just gonna run that on through. So just to put me back to normal, I'm gonna fill in the side with my pomade and I'll be right back. Okay guys, so that is it. Hopefully this helps out so much. I know I get a lot of questions again at work, but there's a lot of resources available to you guys. So don't forget that just watching a tutorial is very helpful. Kind of going back to where I was saying about the stencils, this really does help, but also services available to you as a shopper. So Ulta has a benefit brow bar and they offer free brow mapping, which is basically exactly what I did. This little 3-point, they'll do it for you and show you exactly what's best for you in your eyebrow shape and best for you and your eye shape. So head over to Ulta. You don't need an appointment for it. It's not a costly service. It's just a free service. Definitely recommend checking that out as a service. Now, if you needed help, like you know where the placement should be, but you're having issues with either getting it symmetrical or getting it even, or just getting the product on there correctly or cleaning it up, Sephora does offer mini makeovers. So go in there with like a good concept of what you're wanting, or just say like, hey, I've never filled in my brows before, but I just need a little bit of help. I need a good pencil, I need a good pomade, I need a good powder, and Sephora artists are there to help. So definitely head up into Sephora or Ulta. If you needed more of like a hands-on, they're more than willing to help. It's their job. Head in there, it's a ton of fun. Brows should not be stressful. It should just be complimentary to your look. And hopefully this helps. So yeah, thanks so much for watching, and I hope to see you guys in my next video. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So, oh god, I'm not a YouTuber. Ugh. Shape, you can kind of see where I let these natural. So we just gonna mow the lawn. So my neighbor's just gonna mow the lawn while I'm filming. Alright. We just gonna mow the grass today. Alright. I am not even gonna change my brows because I look fine. From afar, let me not say that because my light went away. I use these for like Halloween. You don't need to know that. Editor, edit that out.